Anthony Rico was someone that Sean Combs was clearly comfortable with. He would often sit next to Sean Combs, kind of keep him calm during court proceedings, who now says, for reasons really unknown, that he can no longer represent Sean Combs.
I mean, come on now. That's more than 2 months away. Jury ain't been selected yet. You trying to tell me nobody that's on the jury will have heard that a lawyer backed out of the case? I don't know about y'all. That's not a good.
Things just got even messier for Sean Diddy Combs. His legal troubles aren't just stacking up. They're spiraling out of control. And now his own attorney, his high-powered defense lawyer, has walked away from the case. But here's the real kicker. This wasn't just some random legal representative. This was the same attorney who once defended one of Osama bin Laden's closest associates. Let that sink in. A man who has taken on some of the most notorious, untouchable clients in history just decided that Diddy's case was too much to handle. If that doesn't say something about the gravity of this situation, I don't know what will. At this point, the message is loud and clear. This case is radioactive. When even the best of the best lawyers who specialize in defending the indefensible want nothing to do with you, it's a glaring sign that you're in serious trouble. These high-profile attorneys don't just drop clients for no reason. They fight until the end, no matter how bad things look, because that's what they get paid the big bucks for. So when this lawyer decides to run for the exit, it means something major is happening behind the scenes. What did this lawyer see or find out that made him pack up and leave? More importantly, what does this mean for Diddy's case moving forward? This is no small shakeup. Losing an attorney of this caliber could expose significant vulnerabilities in Diddy's defense. It could signal internal chaos, unpaid legal fees, or even new evidence coming to light. Evidence so damaging that even the most seasoned legal expert couldn't risk defending him. Whatever the case, it's not looking good for Diddy. And if you think this is just speculation, think again. Even Stephen A. Smith, a prominent commentator, has weighed in, saying what we've all been thinking. This isn't just about an attorney quitting, it's about the entire narrative around Diddy collapsing in real time. And the scariest part is that it's not just the legal world that's turning on him. When a case like this goes public, it doesn't just play out in the courtroom. The jury, the people who will ultimately decide his fate, are already forming opinions based on everything the media is throwing at them. The second this case hit the news, Diddy was already fighting an uphill battle. And right now, the image being painted of him is devastating. We're talking full-on career-ending levels of damage. The narrative is being shaped in the court of public opinion, and it's not in his favor. Here's the final blow. His lawyer didn't even give a real reason for quitting. The official excuse doesn't even add up. That means something even bigger is happening behind closed doors, something they don't want us to know. This isn't just bad news for Diddy, it's a full-blown crisis. Diddy's legal strategy isn't just risky, it's self-destructive. Legal experts are shaking their heads as he doubles down on two highly controversial and outrageous claims. First, that he's the victim of racial persecution, and second, that his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, was somehow asking for it. These aren't just weak defenses. They're a legal nightmare. Lawyers know that juries don't fall for deflection tactics, especially when the evidence is stacking up against you. And right now, Diddy's arguments aren't just hard to sell, they're fueling the backlash against him. Every time he or his team pushes these narratives, it backfires spectacularly. Instead of shifting public opinion in his favor, it's making him look even more guilty. The more Diddy tries to divert attention or blame others, the more it paints him as someone trying to avoid responsibility, and that's a dangerous road to go down. But hold on, things are about to get a lot worse. Donald Trump just dropped a massive bombshell that could completely obliterate Diddy's already crumbling defense. The former president has suggested that he might release the names from Jeffrey Epstein's infamous client list, the same list that has been whispered about in Hollywood, politics, and the highest levels of power for years. If Diddy's name is anywhere on that list, it's over. Let's be clear, once those names go public, there's no coming back from it. Forget the courtroom. This is about public perception, and that alone could be career-ending. The media will be all over it. Social media will explode, and no PR team, no crisis management firm, not even the most powerful allies in the industry will be able to contain that kind of fallout. Diddy's already under fire, and if his name is tied to Epstein, the damage will be irreversible. The reputation he spent decades building could be destroyed in an instant, and just when you thought this case couldn't take a more shocking turn, it does. Trump's former Department of Defense Chief of Staff, Kash Patel, just added another shocking twist. He revealed that much like Epstein's highly classified list, which already sent shockwaves through Hollywood and Washington, there is allegedly a Diddy list. Yes, you heard that right. A list that, if declassified, could cause absolute chaos in the entertainment industry and beyond. The mere existence of such a list raises some serious questions. What's on it? Who's involved? And most importantly, why hasn't it been released yet? Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Diddy's remaining legal team is scrambling. They're making aggressive, last-ditch moves, and what they're doing now is raising serious eyebrows in the legal world. Sources confirm that his attorneys are pushing hard to force the names of witnesses and victims into the open. Let's be real. This isn't about legal strategy. Diddy's team is claiming that he needs these names to properly prepare for trial, but many legal experts are calling it what it really is, a blatant intimidation tactic. A move designed to scare off witnesses, apply pressure, and create fear among those who might be willing to testify against him. It's desperate, bold, and dangerous, but the prosecution isn't falling for it. They see exactly what's happening, and they're not budging an inch. Right now, Diddy's legal team is throwing everything they have at the wall, hoping something, anything, sticks. But with every new move they make, it's becoming painfully obvious that they're running out of options. Diddy's case is looking more precarious by the day, and once those lists drop, whether the Epstein list or the rumored Diddy list, Diddy might be looking at more than just a trial. He might be looking at the end of everything. Diddy's legal team just got shut down hard. The court flat out rejected his motion, and their response was absolutely brutal. Legal experts are buzzing about how firm and unapologetic the decision was, but honestly, nobody's surprised. Given Diddy's alleged history of witness tampering, there was no way the prosecution was going to let this slide. But here's where things take a chilling turn. Sources close to the case are revealing something truly disturbing. When Diddy was applying for bail, his alleged victims were terrified. We're talking shaking in their boots at the mere possibility that he might walk free. Imagine the fear knowing that the man they're testifying against, a man with power, money, and deep industry connections, could be out on the streets before trial. And honestly, can you blame them? Court documents paint a dark picture of Diddy's alleged pattern of silencing those who might speak against him. They suggest that he's used his wealth, his reach, and his influence to keep people quiet, whether through intimidation, backdoor deals, or worse. Now, imagine those same terrified witnesses knowing that their names could be made public. If Diddy's team is successful in forcing the disclosure of witnesses' identities, it could have catastrophic consequences. It's not just about their safety, it's about their lives. The level of fear and intimidation that's likely at play is chilling, and the stakes have never been higher. This case is rapidly evolving, and each twist is more shocking than the last. Diddy is facing a perfect storm: legal turmoil, public backlash, and potential revelations that could destroy his career. The clock is ticking, and with each passing day, the gravity of the situation becomes more apparent. For Diddy, the question isn't just about winning in the courtroom, it's about whether he can survive the catastrophic fallout that's looming on the horizon. This is a nightmare scenario, the kind that keeps people up at night. It's exactly why prosecutors fought tooth and nail to keep the identities of Diddy's alleged victims protected. If these individuals are already so terrified at just the thought of Diddy being granted bail, imagine the devastation they'd feel if their names, locations, and personal details were suddenly made public for the world to see, long before the trial even begins. The fear these victims have lived with for so long is palpable, but despite their fear, something incredible is happening. People are tired of staying silent. Witnesses who have been holding back for years are starting to push back. The fear that once kept them quiet is beginning to crack, and when one person speaks, others follow. The dam is breaking, and the flow of truth can't be stopped. Now, industry insiders, people who personally worked alongside Diddy, are stepping forward with explosive allegations. These are people who saw what happened behind studio doors, and they're not just whispering anymore. They're talking, and what they're revealing is shaking the industry to its core. Multiple sources with direct knowledge of Diddy's actions are dropping bombshell revelations about his past, and the details are far darker than anyone could have expected. According to these insiders, Diddy allegedly regularly arranged for women to be flown into his recording sessions, but not for music. These women were allegedly brought in specifically for sexual encounters, turning what were supposed to be professional, creative environments into something far more sinister. These studio sessions were turned into something much darker than just business dealings. And if you thought Diddy's legal troubles couldn't get any worse, think again. They just did. In a shocking new development that is sending shockwaves through the entertainment world, Diddy was hit with a fresh wave of lawsuits, and the allegations are absolutely horrific. On Monday, at least 6 new lawsuits were filed against Diddy in federal court in Manhattan, piling onto the already overwhelming legal firestorm surrounding him. The sheer number of allegations has reached a level that's becoming impossible to ignore. Yes, Diddy continues to deny everything, but at this point, the sheer volume of claims is enough to make even his most loyal defenders take a step back. The details in these lawsuits are painting a terrifying picture. According to official court documents, multiple victims claim that Diddy lured them in using the promise of fame, luxury, and stardom. He allegedly used his celebrity status and influence to attract young women to lavish parties and extravagant gatherings. But once they were there, things allegedly took a nightmarish turn. Some victims claimed they were physically assaulted, with chilling reports of women being beaten into submission. Others have revealed that Diddy allegedly made violent threats, warning them that if they didn't comply or dared to speak out, they would disappear. Let that sink in. Allegations of brutality, coercion, and cover-ups are piling up, and with each new lawsuit, the pressure on Diddy is becoming unbearable. Behind closed doors, Diddy's legal team is scrambling. The remaining lawyers in his camp are now locked in damage control mode, desperately trying to figure out how to neutralize the damning video evidence that's been making the rounds. But here's the real problem. Every single day, their options are shrinking. The walls are closing in, and as fast as Diddy's legal team is trying to contain the fallout, his reputation is crumbling even faster. This isn't just a PR nightmare anymore, it's a full-blown collapse. And if the evidence continues to mount, it might be game over. But the secrets just keep pouring out, and each new revelation is more shocking than the last. One of the most disturbing discoveries involves baby oil that Homeland Security investigations seized during a raid on Diddy's properties. Why was it there? What was it used for? The implications alone are enough to make your skin crawl. What was happening in those secretive corners of Diddy's empire? And if you thought that was wild, hold on, because Diddy's former bodyguard, Jun Deal, just jumped into the mix again, and this time, he's making explosive claims that could rewrite hip-hop history. Deal is now suggesting that Diddy might have been connected to the lethal incident that took the life of the Notorious Big, a claim that could send shockwaves throughout the entire music industry. Let that sink in. This isn't some random rumor from the internet. This is coming from a man who was there, who saw things firsthand, and who isn't afraid to speak out. And while these shocking allegations about Biggie's death might seem separate from the other accusations, legal analysts say they could impact the trial in unexpected ways. If the courts start connecting any of these claims to the case, Diddy's legal situation could become even bigger than anyone imagined. At this point, there's no denying the truth. The cards are completely stacked against Diddy. His attorney, Rico, clearly saw the writing on the wall and jumped ship before the entire ship sank. The once untouchable music mogul's empire is crumbling piece by piece every single day. And the biggest shift of all is that those who once stayed silent are finally finding their voices. The dam is breaking, and more people are speaking out than ever before. Industry insiders, former employees, and even witnesses who have long kept their silence are now revealing disturbing accounts of what they saw behind closed doors. These individuals who once feared retaliation are no longer keeping quiet, and it's becoming increasingly clear that Diddy's empire was built on a foundation of fear and control. The sheer number of people now coming forward is a testament to the gravity of the situation and the growing sense of urgency among those who know the truth. In addition to the legal turmoil, the public perception of Diddy is deteriorating at an alarming rate. The media has picked up on the mounting allegations and is running with them. Diddy's PR team has been working overtime, trying to spin the narrative in his favor, but every new revelation only digs him deeper into the hole. The pressure is building, and it's becoming increasingly difficult for his supporters to defend him. And now, with the latest twist in the saga, the stakes have reached a new level. With the potential release of the infamous Diddy list that former officials like Kash Patel are hinting at, Diddy is facing the possibility that even more explosive revelations could be coming. If that list ever becomes public, the fallout could be catastrophic. The names on that list could be enough to destroy not only Diddy's career but the careers of others connected to him as well. The mere existence of such a list raises more questions than answers, and the entertainment world is on edge, waiting to see what will happen next. Meanwhile, Diddy's remaining legal team is attempting a desperate maneuver to maintain control of the case. They are pushing hard to force the names of witnesses and victims into the open. While they claim they need these names to prepare for trial, many legal experts are seeing it for what it really is, a blatant intimidation tactic. The move is designed to pressure witnesses and create fear among those who might be willing to testify against him. It's a desperate and dangerous strategy, but it could backfire. The prosecution sees exactly what's happening, and they're not about to let Diddy's legal team manipulate the system. Now, sources close to the case are revealing something truly disturbing. When Diddy was applying for bail, his alleged victims were terrified. The fear was palpable, and they feared that he might be granted bail and walk free before the trial even begins. Can you imagine the terror they must feel, knowing that a man with so much power, wealth, and influence could be free to do whatever he wanted while they're left to testify against him? The stakes have never been higher. Court documents paint a dark picture of Diddy's alleged history of silencing those who might speak out against him. The report suggests that he has used his wealth and connections to intimidate, silence, and control those who could testify against him. Whether through direct threats, backdoor deals, or other tactics, Diddy allegedly managed to keep people quiet. Until now, the brave individuals coming forward are revealing the extent of the manipulation and the cover-ups, and it's clear that this case is far more complex than anyone could have anticipated. If Diddy's legal team is successful in forcing the disclosure of witness identities, it could have catastrophic consequences. The implications of such a move would be felt across the industry, and the victims involved would be left vulnerable. The fear that has kept them silent for so long is now becoming a powerful catalyst for change. More and more individuals are finding the courage to speak out, and it's clear that Diddy's web of influence is starting to unravel. This case is evolving at a staggering pace, and with each new revelation, the stakes get higher. Diddy's legal troubles are far from over, and the clock is ticking. With more and more people coming forward and secrets continuing to pour out, it's becoming increasingly clear that the once untouchable Mogul's empire is crumbling under the weight of his past actions. Whether the courts will be able to hold him accountable remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the tide is turning and Diddy's world is about to be turned upside down. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on these shocking developments. Do you think more celebrities will be exposed when the alleged Diddy list becomes public? Who do you think will be next to fall? And before you go, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a single update. We're bringing you the real stories that others are too afraid to touch, and trust me, with the way this Diddy case is unfolding, you're going to want to be the first to know. This is only the beginning. See you in the next one.